This is going to be an attempted track guide for the Nurburgring combined for the upcoming Nurburgring 24-hour. GT4, this is in the Mercedes. I by no means am ridiculously fast, but hopefully to help you try and learn the track, I got somebody that's going to be racing on my team that's never raced on the track in any game. So this is mostly for him, but someone else may find use out of it. I'm going to try and rush through it just because it's a really long lap, almost 9 minutes, a little bit over. Um, that being said, we're approaching the start finish line on what would be the GP circuit. Alright, so for starters, I start my braking between the 150 board and the 100 board. You're going to go down to first gear. It's going to be the only turn you're going to use first gear. You want to clip in as close as you can, and then you're immediately turning back. Staying in first gear, quick upshift to second. I think you'll get up to fourth here. For me, into these cones where this white line comes in, I go down to third. I'll go down to second here. You obviously want to clip the apex and exit wide, but you don't want to clip grass on the inside. You'll get up to fourth gear here. You could probably go to fifth, but I don't. Where this little sliver of grass ends, or the start of this pavement, is where I brake, go down to second. This little chicane here is almost flat out. I do lift a little bit, but you can really maximize the chicane there. Alright, of the GP circuit, this is the turn that I early on found I messed up the most. If you go to the 100 board, it's a little bit too late, so somewhere in the middle of this access road. Go down to third. Actually, exit a little bit wide there. Stay in third here. Exit out wide. Fast forward a little bit. You'll be flat out through here. Alright. Leading up to this chicane between the 150 board here, so call it 75. I go down to third. I think you can use fourth also. You'll use up a lot of the curbs here. Alright. Stay in third here. So this is going to be entering the actual old Nordschleife circuit. If you messed up somewhere on the GP circuit, you can actually go through these cones, go back around what would be the final turn of the GP circuit, and then just start your lap over. You'll have to clear your black flag when you cross the start line, but you can start the lap over. You'll be down a little bit of speed at start finish line because you come out of a chicane. It's a little bit faster off the actual track, but it's just a way to reset yourself. I get down to second gear here. You want to stay close to this curb on the left. I leave it in second gear a little bit after this red wall ends as you're going over the hill. Is where I will brake. Get the power down. Flat out through this little section. And then this little right-hander, you can just do a lift. Then get back on the power. You'll be flat out through here. You are going to get up to fifth gear. About here, so before the curbing, however you want to do this. I'm going to go down to, I think, fourth or third here. This is all flow, off throttle. Go down to second here. Just get the power down. I think you can stay in third also. You need to stay. This turn, it's really tricky. You don't want to get up on that curb too much, but you need to stay to the right. It's a blind crest, and if you go too far left, you're going to end up in the grass to the left side. So right here, that's the curb I'm talking about. I also found I sometimes push wide there and get it off track. We get up to fifth here. This is the first jump, I guess. Hit it. I do a little bit of a lift. I don't use brake. And then I get the power back down. Really carrying speed through there. Gonna get up to 6th gear here. Right here. I use this 5, boys, the 5-kilometer board. And I just do a little bit of brake. I think I downshift to 5th. Yeah. Then I get back on the power briefly, where the pavement changes here. Is where I start my heavier braking, going down to 3rd. Flat out through here, up to 6th gear. Alright. You'll head up this hill here. About halfway up this hill is where I'll brake. Go down to 5th. Go down to 4th here, down to 3rd. And then I'll go down to 2nd here, holding it tight in here. Exit out pretty wide. Now we're starting to head towards some of the turns that will pop up on you. So this first, all you need to do is a little bit of a light brake and off throttle there. You're going to go down to 3rd here. Alright. As you head down this hill, this 8-kilometer board, this is one of the turns that will catch you off if you're not ready. So I start braking, I think right around there, leave it in 3rd gear. Back on the throttle, and then you go around a little bit of a left kink here, put it in 4th gear, and then you're headed down a hill here again. So this turn is one of the ones that is death for me most often. I'll rewind it again. 4th, just a little bit of playing with the throttle, and then braking here. It's a short braking, and then you put the power back down, and you just carry a lot of speed through there. Somewhere before this Yokohama board, you'll start braking for this little section. I'd say somewhere in here. Go down to 2nd, hold it in tight to this curb here to the left. Into this rumble strip is where I brake. I'd go down to 3rd. Try and hold it in tight here. Exit a little bit wider. And then a little bit before the end of this rumble strip, I will brake and turn in, just leaving it in 3rd. You can get on the power pretty early. The suspension's compressed because it's uphill. Alright, you're flat out through here. Well, I should say, you're flat out through that first kink, and then's the turn that is really deadly. So I've discovered this exclamation point is a good indicator that you need to slow down. So I start braking around there. Go down to 3rd. It's easy to get the power down too early and end up off the side of the track on the left there. So there's 2 right-handers and that, well actually that 3rd right-hander there. Those are the 3 turns before what I'll call the carousel that are most likely to set you off the track. You're going to go just flat out through here. You'll be in 5th gear. And then right here, the end of this little pavement section here, I think I just lift. I don't think I brake at all. I think I drop again. Okay, I did a little bit of braking. I actually just lifted in 5th. Just carry as much speed through there as possible. A little bit of a lift here. Don't hit this curb too much. Back on the throttle. And then right at the start of this red and white rumble strip here, you're going to do your braking. Go down to 2nd. And you're going to go up to 4th here, and this is going to be what I consider the carousel. I don't know what actual Germans would not consider it, but I consider this one the carousel, one of the more iconic turns. It's a blind crest as you're headed for it. So like probably right around here is where I'll lift and start braking. Go down to second. I want to try and stay on the banked section there on the left. Flat out through here. Alright, so now you're going to hit a section of just flowing turns. A lot of third gear, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of it's just setting up for the next turn. This turn, so this right-hander here is one of the turns also that will set you off track and put you into a wall pretty hard if you're not ready for it. So just remember it's like 2 turns after the carousel. I guess this little blue sign with the cross through it. I could probably just stayed in 4th there. I'm still learning the track myself. I just got it a couple days ago and I don't drive this car. For here I was using the end of the rumble strip. There's a lot of blind crests here. So you don't want to push exit all the way to the left because as you're going over this crest, there's going to be the edge of the track. So you need to be able to get back to the right here a little bit. I almost carried too much speed there. End of that rumble strip back there was this little section here is probably the section I struggled the most with, truthfully. So third, end of that strip on the left. I pushed a little bit off of apex though. And I wasn't quite patient enough. Just leaving it in third though. You gotta hold it tight there and then stay to the right going over here because there's another blind crest. And this is the second jump. This is pretty scary. I think I had to brake a little bit before hitting the jump. And then I just leave it in the gear I'm in, so 4th. A little bit of brake and just out of the throttle before you're back into it. Another blind crest. So as you're going over it, you want to try and just be right there next to it, but not necessarily on it because it will push you wide. It's easy to run a route wide to the right there. Flat out through here. I think the end of this rumble strip here, maybe a little bit before it. I just did a little bit of brake. Could have probably carried a little bit more speed, more blind crests. I don't know the best way, at least to tell you here. It's after this wall with the orange on it on the end. But I go down a gear, and then I go down to third here. You're able to get back on the power here pretty well because it's uphill, so the suspension's compressed. Staying in third gear. It's leading up to the final turn. Well, the final turn before the long straight. Go up to 4th. A bit before the end of the rumble strip, I'll lift a little bit of brake. And then just flat out. Alright, setting up for the final chicane. So I'll carry the throttle all the way until, I'm starting to hit the brake a little bit here, but a little bit before this second rumble strip. And just stay out of the throttle, brake, brake, brake. You'll get down to second gear, get the power back down hard here, up to third. That's the completion of your lap. I'll take you to the start line. Alright, I believe that is it. Hey, 15-minute video is not too bad. I would normally do a full playthrough of the video at full speed, but I'm not going to do that on this just because it's going to add 9 minutes to the video. So I'll wrap it up here. Let me know if you have questions.